brain fog is not burnout. So, you know, when you're mid-sentence in that meeting that you arranged, and you look at a colleague that you've known for about 6 years, and her name is just gone. Not on the tip of your tongue, gone. So you smile, you carry on because you got to cover. But for years, someone has been telling this woman that the fog, the forgetting, the tears she can't explain, that it's just all in her head. Here's the thing. They were right. It is all in your head, just not quite the way that they meant it. And that's the good news, you see. I'm a physiotherapist, a psychotherapist, 2 years into this perimenopause climb. And what we were just describing, what you have been feeling maybe, it's not burnout. It's not you losing grip on this job that you've been brilliant at for 2 decades. It's your brilliant brain doing something actually predictable, measurable, and most importantly, temporary. So stick with me till the end of the video and it'll make complete sense. But one quick thing to stand on, if you're new here, I know that perimenopause has been talked about as a decline for a long time, but I want to flip that and see it as a climb. I call it Mount Menopause. So you've already reached one summit, the career summit, which you know, the life you built. Now, this is now the pass between that one and your second summit. The version of you that comes out of the far side of this stronger than before, than right now anyway. And the fog, the rage, the 3 a.m. wake up, all of that, that's not the end of the road. They are just the elements of this crazy jungle that we've been thrown into. And it's weather that you can learn to climb in. So today, it's all about the fog. First, picture this woman. She's good at her job, 20 years in. She's one of those people that you go to when things are complicated. She's the safe pair of hands, the one whose judgment everyone trusts. Do you know her? Now, her whole identity is built on being reliable, on being sharp. So her brain is her greatest asset. And she's had hard years before, a restructure at work, a crisis at home, and every single time she did what she's always done, worked harder, worked through it, and solved it. Because that's the deal she's lived by her whole life. Hard work does solve problems. It always has for her. But then quietly something changes this time. And it starts small. She walks into a room and can't remember why she came in. She loses a word mid-sentence, a word she's used 100 times and has to talk around the gap. And the name won't come, then another. And the tasks that used to be automatic now take real effort. That report that took an hour now takes 3. She reads the same paragraph 4 times and it won't go in. And here's the thing. She notices it first. Long before anyone else does, everyone around her still sees this really competent, high-achieving woman. But inside, she's watching herself and thinking, what's happening to me? And underneath that, a colder question. If my brain is my greatest asset, what happens if I can't trust it anymore? So she does the only thing that she knows how to do. She reaches for the explanation that fits. Of course, the one that's been given to her. The one that everyone else believes. It's burnout. Of course, it's burnout. It must be. I've been running too hard for too long. And it's such a reasonable story, isn't it? Nothing that a spa weekend hasn't fixed before. Tick. And then as soon as that's done, she comes back and she doubles down. Longer hours, earlier starts. She white knuckles her way through. But here's what's quietly breaking her. The effort doesn't work. She's putting in more and getting less back. I mean, how does that work? For the first time in her life, hard work isn't solving the problem. So the anxiety creeps in. She starts hiding it, covering in meetings, checking that things 3 times, staying late to redo what used to be easy. She stops putting herself forwards. The promotion comes up. Everyone thinks she's going to, but she doesn't apply. Because what if they found out? So slowly, quietly, she decides the one thing that isn't true. She decides she's lost her edge for good. And here's what I wish someone had told her. What I wish someone had told me is that might not be burnout. I mean, burnout is real. I'm not waving it away, but burnout and what she's describing are not the same thing. And the difference changes everything about what you do next. So here's what's actually happening when it isn't burnout. And this is where it's all in your head, stops being an insult and becomes the answer. See, estrogen isn't only a reproductive hormone, it's in the brain. It's one of the master regulators of energy. It helps your brain cells take up fuel and turn it into usable power. In perimenopause, the estrogen doesn't glide away gently. It lurches like on a dimmer switch. So the fog isn't a motivational problem. It isn't a character problem. It's neurological. Your processor is completely fine. It's the power management system that's being updated. So you are far from alone in all of this. Around 2/3 of women report exactly these symptoms in the transition. The memory, the concentration, the word that won't come. If you felt it, you're in the majority, not the exception. And here's the part that undoes the self-blame. Put women through a standard cognitive test, and researchers have done this, and their performance usually still sits within the normal range. So the fog is real, and the scores are still fine. Both are true at once. That means you're not broken. You're not broken. You're actually doing better than you think, and you're running the same software on a battery that's temporarily smaller. So it's not a decline, okay? It's one of those elements, and you can learn to climb in it. Because here's what changes the moment a woman finally hears this. She stops catastrophizing every lost word. A name doesn't come, and instead of, this is how it starts, she thinks, right, that's a fuel supply problem. That's just the transition. That's expected. It's not a lost, recalibrating. And she moves on. Easier. And she gets like this language for what's happening to her. The language is power. Everything that we say has a ripple effect. And the whole distance between I'm failing and my brain is redefining a new baseline is the gap between this summit and the next. The fear comes down, and this part isn't soft. It's clinical. A woman who isn't terrified can think again clearly. So it's the terror that was making the fog worse. Remember that question, can I still trust my brain? Big yes, you can. Everything is still there. All the connections, all the files are actually still there. What she needed was never to try harder. It was to understand what's actually happening, because the cure is in the understanding. The understanding. That's base camp. All right, it's not the summit, but you cannot climb a mountain if you've mislabeled it a decline. So if you've been calling it burnout, I gently ask you to hold that thought, because in the next video, I'll show you exactly why your brain feels underpowered, what's really happening to that fuel supply, and what it means for the way you work. So once you see it, you can't unsee it. See? It really is all in your head. And that's the best news I can give you. If today's video helped you question what you were questioning about yourself, and you want the next step now, then come join me at my Menopause Base Camp. The link's in the description. Remember, I'm just one step ahead of you on this huge path. It's not a race. It's not a permanent decline, and it can absolutely be an epic climb. So, you know what they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So on that wish, I hope I see you at Base Camp.